Welcome to the On Labs podcast. Our special guest today is Ajay Malik. Ajay, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Very excited to be here.
Where are you currently located on the planet?
Uh, I am in San Jose, California, Silicon Valley.
Nice, nice. So that's the place to be.
I tell you, I always say that, and I feel blessed that I got an opportunity to move here, and I love it, and I am blessed.
Yeah, nice, nice. I'm in Miami, and I love everything about Miami, but San Jose is a pretty cool place. Yeah, so that's cool. All right, AJ, give everybody the 2 minute spiel on what you're doing today. What is AJ doing today?
uh, I'm living the dream. I'm enjoying. I'm working in AI. I have been working in AI. I started my career, long
Wait,
time
wait,
back.
wait, wait. We're going to talk about this podcast is about that. So I don't want you to cheat a little bit. Stay with me here. I'm going to interrupt you a lot. But
Okay.
just like what are you doing just like right now today? We're going to talk about how you got here. So you're in AI, you have your own
Yes.
company.
We have our own company and we
Okay.
are enabling enterprises to add AI in their operations or products or customer service.
What's the name of the
That's
company?
Studio X.
Studio X. So I'm
X.
looking at your email. studiox-ai.com. There it is.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Okay, now I have to look this up while we're talking here. studiox-ai dot. There it is. I see it. It's coming up. AI platform, application infrastructure platform for the enterprise. So, what does all that mean, AJ?
It's a no-code platform, or so that people can add AI. You know what you want to add AI agents in your business, like hey, for either for predictive maintenance or for customer support or improve like knowledge search in the company. Many applications we have an enterprise AI platform. They can add it, and suddenly they can enable AI for various parts of their business. That's the whole idea.
Now, you already built all the AI agents, or are your customers building them and deploying them on this
We
platform?
have built some which are like pre-built, and then we allow them to they can build on their own, no coding.
When you say no coding, what does that mean? It means that this is just autonomous. It connects to their email systems or databases, does what it
Yes,
does.
yes, sir. You
Nice.
configure it. You configure it like what are the credentials for your database system, what are the credentials for your email. You configure few things here and there, right? Configure your SharePoint, configure your Confluence settings, keys, and everything that you have to give because those are yours, right? And we don't know them, but that's all. You just configure them, and the system is up. For example, I give you an example, right? A
Yeah.
enterprise knowledge search agent. What it does is you connect, you give your SharePoint credentials, whatever SharePoint sites you want to add, Confluence, Jira, or some systems. And once it's done, now you can talk to the bot and bot responds. Or it can take action. The AI agent can automatically take action based on certain conditions or whatever you want.
How long have you been building this product in this company?
Well, this company is 7 year old. Okay, so we
Wow.
have been doing AI. Yeah, we have been doing AI even before AI was super hot. After I left
Yeah.
Google, I started this company, and it was mostly large companies we were working with. And thanks to ChatGPT, which did the mass advertising for the world, and now we are doing more AI for a lot of companies.
You saw it, man. AJ, you saw it. You saw what was happening. And you said, I'm getting out of Google, man. We're doing our own thing here. That's
Google
awesome,
was,
dude.
yeah, I was doing amazing. Google was, I learned actually that's where I got really like I have to do AI more.
Okay, I'm gonna throw you in the time machine. We're gonna get back to this, but this podcast is more like the story of sort of how you got where you are today. So people can learn from both your successes and your mistakes, okay? Because we all make mistakes along the way. So unfortunately now I have to age you. So where I want you to think about high school. So what year did you graduate from high school and where were you living?
1985, I was in New Delhi, India.
80. See, I'm at 87. So we're close in age, man. We're close in age. I mean, you're only got like 2 years on me, so that's pretty good. And you were in New Delhi, 85, 19. I graduated in 87, but I lived in New York, so Delhi had to be an interesting place in 1985.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was very different than the Delhi today. Very, very
All
different.
right.
The world
So
has changed.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've been to Pune, Goa, Bangalore. I've never actually stepped foot out of the airport in New Delhi. So,
Oh,
but I
wow.
imagine it's similar. I imagine Delhi's a little similar to
Better.
maybe Pune. Better, of course, it's better. It's your hometown. Actually, out of all three of those places, I like Pune the best. Is that
Pune is
odd?
very nice. I have lived, well, not lived, like about 5 weeks in Pune, uh, and amazing. I had a good experience, very good
Yeah.
experience.
Everybody would expect me to say Goa because it's a beach town, but I didn't like. I'm not. I live in Miami and I never go to the beach. I'm not a beach person, so.
Oh, wow, interesting.
All right. Let me ask you another question before we jump on this train. I want you to clear your mind here. This is going to be good. All right. I want the first memory you have of working on a computer. The very first memory that you have of getting your hands on a keyboard. It's got to be a good one. It's got to be a good one.
Yeah, it's good. But you will laugh at the computer though. See, I'm old. So my first computer was a BBC Micro.
Okay.
You probably
Nice.
don't know. Yeah,
I've heard of
probably
it.
one doesn't
I
know.
never
These are
played
like
with one.
PCs. Yeah, these are PCs, like PCs, and you run basic programs on this, Visual Basic. Okay, and they were good. That was my first program I used. Then and a PDP-11, which was a mainframe where you would
Okay,
punch
time
cards.
out. Did you really got your hands on a PDP-11?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Okay. See, I just sort of missed, even though I'm only 2 years older, I sort of missed all that. My first computer was a K Pro CPM operating system
Very
that I
nice.
had in my
I have
room,
done
right?
CPM operating system.
Yeah, yeah, that was it. But by the time I got to university, at least the university I graduated in '88, they were just stopping using the mainframe, which I can't remember. I don't think it was a VAX or something, but I never got to. My first class in college was PDP-11 assembly, but we didn't have PDP-11s. The professor made me write it on paper, and I said, "I'm getting out of this school." But you got to touch one, man. You got to actually touch one.
Hey, those were the days. You know what? We would take your shoes off before going into the mainframe center. Yes,
Yeah.
that's how the computers were treated.
What kind of programs were you was that for school when you were on the PDP-11?
It, it was like in India we call it college. Like it's like when I studied in IIT Roorkee, India, that it was there in the University of Roorkee. We had PDP-11 mainframe. It was a whole
Oh,
center. It was a big center just for PDP-11. You go, you book your slot, and it was a perfectly, and you have to take your shoes off. You go inside, punch your cards, push it, and if it fails, then you wait in your line again to punch your cards again. Those were the days.
so I've talked to other people who went to school in India, and the story's always that there's a big national test. You have to score at a certain position to go to the top schools. Was that the same in 1985?
Yes, yes, yes. That is, yeah, I did pretty
So
good.
so what was your number? I love asking my Indian
I
friends that.
was 85 all over India.
85, dude. Yeah, bro. Anything under 100 and it's just that's a amazing, dude.
Yes, yes, it was amazing.
85.
Yes,
So that got you could go anywhere, pretty much anywhere you wanted at
yes,
85,
it was
right?
pretty good. It was amazing. Yes, and then I have to tell you this, and I did not know what I want to do, except that I wanted to be an engineer. And I did not want to be a doctor because my elder brother was becoming a doctor, and that was, I could see he was suffering, and I didn't want to do that
I know,
because
but your parents were mad when you said I'm not going to be a doctor. They were mad.
no,
They
he
were
was
like,
not
AJ, what are you doing to us? You have to be a doctor.
my dad was fine. And then he talked to people like, hey, what should he do? And he went to he talked to a lot of people for advice, what he should be doing, like what his son should be doing. And they suggested, hey, computer science, it's a good and upcoming field. It's, because those days people thought civil engineering was the real engineering or mechanical. Okay. And these people said, no, he should do computer science. It's new. He will do good. He got good
Yeah, it
advice.
was. It was
Yes,
very new at the time. Yeah, it was
very new.
very new.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was the second batch of computer science.
But you had never really put your hands on a computer before that, right?
Never, never.
No. So you had, did you have any real, okay, this is interesting. So you say to your parents, I'm not going to be a doctor. So your dad does some research, thinks maybe computers are good for you. But your dad is telling you go into computer science. You're not going to listen to your dad. You're a kid. You're a punk, AJ. You're like, no.
No, not a punk. I said, okay. I said,
Okay,
okay,
dad, whatever you
sounds
say.
good.
As long as I don't have to be a doctor, dad, I'll do it.
Yes. Yes.
That's cool.
Medical seemed so harder to me.
So I want you to try to remember the first time you walked into that computer lab with all that stuff.
Oh,
That must have been mind blowing to you. You must have been
mind
like,
blowing.
yes, yeah,
Computers. And it was like we were taught both hardware and software, right? Learning the PCs, the gates, AND gates, NAND gates, everything on the breadboard and everything. And but when you run the program and it works, okay, like first experience running it, and you know what? I still remember my first program was plotting Fourier series on the computer, and like that was an assignment given. It was not my idea, and I did that. But then they started showing up the graphs, and I could see them. Mind blowing. It is like,
yeah,
oh my God! It's like it's in gratification. Very nice. You feel so good. Like wow, this is, and that's
yeah.
how
But
you get into it.
the feedback loop is long. I mean,
Very nice. That
you have to
that
do extra diligence.
yes,
Yeah,
that is what it is, and that sucks you in completely. You become you either I think you either fall in love or probably not. I don't know, and I am like, thank God my dad picked it for me.
did you ever at some point go back and say to your dad, thanks for doing like, did you ever have that conversation with him at some point?
So my dad died too early. Uh, so
Okay.
yes, but I did like he knew that I am enjoying it, but it was too soon. I did not have like the stage I am, or even 10, 20 years back. No, my dad died like long time back. So I I don't even remember exactly saying thank you for selecting computer science.
It would have been nice. Yeah. Right. Like, I think as parents, I have found with all the kids, I have 5 kids in my first marriage. I got 2 more now. When
Very
they
nice.
hit like 22, 23, that's when they start to say to you, thank you for this. And they've gone through their university. They're starting to live on their own. They start to get it. Um,
I
and
feel
it's
that.
like,
I see that. I see
yeah.
that. I think my kids are more appreciative now. My daughter is 20, my son is 18, and I feel that they are becoming, oh, they see something like, okay, something right about me.
No, my 22-year-old was really difficult in high school. And he literally said to me last year, he's like, Dad, I'm really sorry about how I was in high school.
Oh
I'm
my
like, I'm
God.
glad you saw it, dude, because I wanted to kill you half a dozen times. He goes, I know, Dad, I know.
Oh, very nice. Very, very nice.
Yeah, so
That
you're
must
gonna
be
get that too. That's good. All right. So how long is that engineering program? So you're
4 years.
entering in like 95. It's 4 years,
85 to 89. Yes.
89. Now the industry's still sort of new in 89. I mean, we don't even have the internet yet. So like, what's the deal graduating in 1989 with a? I know what it felt like in 91. There was no job market in the U.S. and I did
Oh,
get a programming job in C, but
yes.
89 is still, a couple of
A
years
big.
earlier than that.
Well, since I was in like IITs, so it was different. Like we used to have, I think they still have it, campus recruitment. A lot of
Mm.
companies come to campus, okay, for the interview, and they, the market was still for the people when you are there. Like there were only 30 students graduating in computer science per year,
Wow,
right? So because
that's
it's a
nothing.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's nothing. So you have a good demand there. So the company, the university had restriction that you cannot take more than two job offers. So it
Mm.
was not like job was. I got two job offers and that's okay. Now I'm chilling, and
So what did
that's
you apply for? What companies did you apply? Like,
there
what
was
was
a
the
company.
jobs?
Yes, there were two companies I got the offer. One was called C dot. It was a wow, I don't even know what it fully stands for. It's a government telecommunication body. which does involves in satellites and building satellites and stuff like that.
That
Okay,
sounds cool.
and yeah, it
Okay.
was cool. It was very hot those days, like at least the name and all. And the other company was HCL. It's still out there. It's one of the big top companies out there in India right now. And that was the first computer manufacturer PCs. So like 8.33
Mm,
megahertz PC, 8.33
yeah.
megahertz PC.
Yeah. So which one did you choose? I, anytime I talk about computer hardware, Dre get I gotta grunt like a caveman, you know.
So so that was the company. Those were the two, and I took job with HCL.
So you didn't take the satellite job.
No, I did not take because
Why not, dude? That sounds more exciting, man.
they were in Bangalore, and I was from Delhi, and this the HCL was in Delhi.
You
So
didn't
in
want
India,
to move.
yeah, I
Okay.
wanted to like stay home, of course.
That's fair. That's
Yes,
fair. Okay. But now this whole time you're in university, you're not living at home either, right? You're already on your own too
yeah, I'm already
at
on.
that point,
I was
right?
in a dorm. I was in a dorm for 4 years. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you take this job, but what are they having you do? Are you designing
My
machines? What like
my
what are you doing?
I will tell you my first project also, because those are
Got a
like the
great
few years you are
memory.
doing the first things
Yeah.
you always remember. In fact, I am in touch with my first boss still, and
Wow.
yes, yes, he's here actually in Silicon Valley, so I'm in touch with
Nice.
him. Yes, yes, very nice. And so my first project was, okay, you will laugh at it. It was a
Okay.
server modem sharing server, like the modem shared between the team, so they can use the same modem. And this modem was 1200 bits per second modem that was being shared.
1200 baud modem. But
Yes,
could you multiplex so multiple people would
yes, that was
multiplex
the
on the
whole
same
idea.
modem?
That was the whole idea of sharing.
Oh. Dude, that's a low level project, right? I mean,
Yes, it was good
wait,
project, but today people don't even, like, we live in like 5 gigahertz, so people will don't even understand what does that even mean.
no, but was that code that you built and ran on the modem itself, or was it some software in front of the modem?
It was a software. So there was another piece of server software those days. It's that company is gone now. Novel Netware. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
a
Novell.
company
Yeah.
like it was a company like Windows, right out there, and it was for networking. So it was a networking server, and that networking server was connected to the modem, and I was doing the driver which runs and the application runs in the server
Wow.
so that the clients can share.
That's a pretty low level. That's had to be all C programming too, right? Or
Actually,
assembly?
assembly, yes, all
Oh,
assembly.
whoa, whoa, whoa. On
386,
specialized chips too.
yes,
Yeah.
386 assembly, Intel
Oh,
386.
386 assembly. Okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yes.
You're happy you're never doing that again though.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? But those things are the ones that have made my foundation, and
Yeah.
they help me. You know what? Even today, like I use a lot of generative AI, right, for coding and everything. But it's a foundation, like the how your mind thinks and how you question. Right, like what everybody is calling prompt engineering, it's basically how to question, how to phrase. And the better you phrase, and that foundation is important. I think those
Yeah.
days helped me so much.
I have a printout of a program I wrote in assembly for an internship I had at Grumman Aerospace. And I
Oh.
have a folder with some code in it that I had printed out. And I was looking at the assembly and I'm like, I don't remember any of this. Like I know I wrote it, but I have like, I don't remember like
you
any of
have
this anymore.
you have kept it. Wow, amazing, that printout. That's
Yeah.
sweet, actually. That's a good,
I have
I
some printouts of basic programs too I wrote that
oh,
I'd
wow.
love to see run again. They were for the K Pro,
Oh, and
s-
send it to
but
me. I will run it for you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
I will
no,
run
for
it for
sure,
you.
man.
Yeah, yeah,
I
in a
don't have
case
the
of
floppies
simulation.
anymore. I just have printouts.
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess
yeah,
you
yeah.
could OCR that now.
I
Yeah.
just need scanned copy. I don't need anything else.
Oh, AJ, I want to send you this stuff. You're gonna
Yes,
laugh,
please
man.
do. Yes, yes.
Okay, that's cool. So, how long were you with that company? Because you're doing some. I guess everything back then was low level work. So, how long
Yes.
were you with them?
I stayed with them for about a year. Then my first boss there, he and some other people had started a company, a startup in India, and I joined them. They asked me that, hey, do you want to join? I and I said, yeah. They gave me a good
You're
bump.
young,
Like,
right?
yeah,
You're young.
they
Oh,
gave
you
me a
even got
good
a
bump also.
raise
Oh, yeah, I got a
to
big raise,
to, to
50%
join a
raise.
startup.
Yeah,
Whoa, like that doesn't happen every day.
yeah. So I joined them, and then I stayed with them for another 4 years, and then I
How
moved
are
to
the working
US.
conditions though? Like a startup, you're always going to find like you got to find a space to hang out. It's never going to be,
Whiskey,
plush.
whiskey, whiskey in water cooler.
Oh, you're young, you're a free man, right? You're not tied down yet, you're not married. So
Yeah,
you just work hours.
yeah.
What was the company trying to what problem were they trying to solve?
They were making yeah, because you are my age, so you know all these terminologies and stuff. So we were making RAID controllers, SCSI RAID controllers for
Oh,
storage.
so you're doing hardware stuff now.
Yes, but it's software. I'm doing the
Oh,
application and driver
the software
utilities
side of it.
from, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But hardware, I have always been in a layer very close to hardware.
Sure. The driver stuff's always interesting to me. I've never written a driver. Anytime I got driver code, it was coming out of China or something. Like somebody wrote
Hey,
some low
then
level
maybe
code,
some
right?
data goes to China also. Be careful.
Yeah. Who knows where all that driver code is today? But that's kind of cool because I mean, you got to get down to you're getting down to the bits at that point, right?
Yes.
This register thing is up and this bit is on
Yep.
and you're doing things like that.
It,
Yeah.
that's how the world works, actually. It's all the drivers, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all the drivers. So that's kind of cool. So you worked there for you said 4 years working on SCSI controllers. Were you manufacturing the drives or you didn't care whose drives you were using?
We didn't care whose drives we were
You didn't
using.
care.
We were using multiple companies. Different companies were making drives.
Dude, you want to hear so you were doing all the striping and everything, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Dude, so 1994, I go and I interview for this company. And the guy running IT walks me into the little data center and he says, we just installed this new Novell RAID 10 system
Oh,
because everything was file servers, right? So I'm
yes,
like, okay, that's cool. And he says to me, you could pull a drive out of this thing and it won't
and
shut down.
yeah,
It will just keep
yeah,
walking,
yeah.
running. And I go, okay, great. And he proceeds to pull a drive out of this. This was being used by the entire company, $100 million company.
Yes,
And
yes.
my heart sank, dude. I was like, what are you doing? He goes, no, I'm going to show you. I swear to you, 15 seconds later, his beeper's going off. The whole raid crashed, man. And the company was down, all because he thought he was going to be cool and pull a drive out of this raid system.
Yeah, oh, it is. We build those. We build those. We were building those, right? The RAID controller, and I tell you, that was the whole test, ultimate test of performance, right? You pull one out, striping. Oh, it was so good. It's amazing.
Yeah, well,
I have not talked about this stuff with anybody in so long.
yeah, well, it didn't work that day for this guy. He got fired like 2 weeks later. I mean, dude, come on, man. Like at the time I had just gotten my CNE. I was a certified Novell engineer
Oh,
at the time,
very nice. Very
and I
nice.
hate the ops side. I'm more of a software developer, but maybe that's why he pulled the drive because I was talking about it. But that's insane.
He
Uh,
was just, was showing off. It's okay.
yeah, well, it wasn't okay. He lost his job, man. The whole thing went down. That's
Hey, who
crazy.
knows where he is now?
That is true. I'd love to try to dig that guy up and
You
see
should
where.
find it. Maybe he's like some big shot. You don't even
Yeah,
yeah, I'm telling you.
he went to go work for a company doing raid because he lost his job. He said, "I got to fix this."
What was his name? Do you know? Remember?
No, I have to ask some people. I know who to ask. I don't remember. I only known him. I only knew him for a handful of hours because
Yeah, I know, I know.
my interview cost him money. I mean, cost him his job, really.
Cost me up. That's okay.
Um, that's crazy. You're only there 4 years. Something new must have came across your desk to get you out of there. So what happened, man? So what
Uh,
are we talking about? Wait, you graduated high school in 85. You
89.
graduated uni in 89.
Yes.
You worked there for 4 years.
And
So
one
now
year
it's like,
before, so 94. I'm in 94 now. Yes.
okay, 1994. That's when I moved to Miami from New York.
Oh,
in
wow.
94. Okay, 90, and the internet still isn't around yet. Like it doesn't really show up for another year,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So,
And I moved to US in 94. That's what happened.
talk to me about that. You were able to land a job in the US.
I landed a job in US. I came
How did
here.
that happen? How did that even come across your desk? Like,
I did not have I did not even want to come to US. There was no plan. Like it was not something I wanted to do, but all my friends, all my batchmates from school, everybody came to US. Like all the ones I was friendly or like I liked them and they moved here, so it was like okay. And most of them had moved for doing masters or studies more or something. So and then in 92, I got a taste of America.
okay,
Uh, I came for a week here for a Windows NT launch party in Disneyland. Microsoft
wow.
had organized,
So wait,
and
your
my
company
company
agreed to send you.
my company sent to me to learn the Microsoft NT drivers and stuff. There was a 1 week conference, learn
Was that in
driver
California or Florida?
California,
California. Okay, okay. That's
and I came.
exciting, man. Come
Oh,
on now,
super
you're young.
exciting! And
You're gonna
yes, I'm
go.
coming to Disneyland, right? Like directly,
Yeah,
and I came here and I saw a world completely different from the world I had ever seen, right?
yeah.
And I saw everything in that experience. I saw the Disneyland, right? The rides and complete fun and innovation and innovative fun, right? Going on. I saw a lot of smart people talking about things like completely different people and very smart people talking about technology and future and everything. And I also saw um, the nightlife, the parties, the drinks, and everything. So I saw
Like
so much that
completely different than New Delhi. Completely different, right?
completely
Like,
those three. It was like the whole the you say the Disneyland fun, the nightlife, and the technology fun was so good. All the three thing 1 week. I was like, wow, this is the place to be. I was
so
like,
now
wow.
it's so now you got the bug that you got to come back though.
Here at Ardan Labs, we believe in empowering companies to reach their full potential through innovative technology solutions. Trusted by small startups and Fortune 500 companies alike, we specialize in high-performance software consulting, training, staffing, development, and now AI. With over 14 years of experience, Ardan Labs has trained over 30,000 engineers and served over 1,000 companies worldwide. Whether you're mastering Go, Rust, Kubernetes, Terraform, or blockchain, we're your strategic partner for performance-grade solutions. Let's elevate your tech journey together. Reach out to Ardan Labs today.
So now you got the bug that you got to come back though.
Come back. And then there was this company who was like Adaptec. It was a, I don't know if you know, it was a big SCSI
Adaptic,
company.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Adaptec was looking for people and they had job and I had a very relevant resume. So I applied, they interviewed me over phone. There were no
Yeah.
video calls. They interviewed me over the phone and then they applied for my H1B and I am here.
Wow.
That's what happened.
So, and what's the job? That's first of all, that's amazing. So, phone call, can't really see you other than maybe a picture on a resume. And they like you enough to even pay for and go through the H-1B process.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then what is this job that you're going to be
It was a
doing?
senior RAID engineer, software engineer, senior RAID software engineer.
Yeah, you already have like full 4 years of experience doing this.
Experience in that space. Yes.
Nobody else does.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's exciting. So what happens when you tell your parents and your family, I'm moving to the States?
Hard. It was very hard. Very hard. It's full emotional, right? And I
They were
came.
happy for you? Were they trying to tell
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't
They were
go? Or
happy. They were happy. They were happy.
and then you told your brother, see, you're a doctor and you're here, but I'm going to the States.
You know, his daughters. One of his daughter is doing in Kellogg's management school now. So you know, So yes. So yeah, they were excited for me. That was my first flight trip, my first airplane flight journey
Now,
all the way.
do they help you set up and get a flat and all that, or like you got to land, find a place to live?
Uh, so
There's a
they
lot.
give
I mean, you're
you,
not that young anymore, right? You're like
yeah,
28,
yeah. I can, no,
28.
no, no, no. I was, no, it was, oh, so I was moving a little bit early. Like I did my high school in 16. So I was moving a little bit early.
Oh, 16. So then you're like 25, 26.
Yes. So you're moving.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I say this. I was 25 in 95.
25 and 95. I like that, dude. That would be
And,
a good rap song to start off with, man.
yeah.
Should license that.
And they no, they did
It-
set up. They did very nice. They give you like they had a 3 month. They had arranged the apartment for me first 3 months, and they had somebody to receive me and take care of me, like dropping,
It's
picking me
awesome.
up. Yeah, yeah. They very, very, very. They were a nice host, super nice host. They
Was
understood that.
working was working in the US different than working in India, like that first couple months, or did it
Mm,
feel the same?
work was same. The only thing was like yeah, no, I work was exactly same. I think same. I was a geek. I'm still a geek, so same thing.
It's the same thing. You're in the office. The office is the
Yes,
office, and
yes. You're
it didn't
working
have
and
any
you're
different. Yeah.
yeah, you are doing it, and the only thing
And you
is
didn't know anybody, bro. This was the best for me. Hey, no reason to go home, dude. You got nobody to go home to. Come here, work a couple more hours.
yeah, yeah. Nobody. You know what? It is so true. Until I got married, I did not
Oh, so
realize
you
that.
met a girl. You met a girl in California.
No, no, no. In
No.
India.
Okay.
So, but until I got married in 97, I did not understand why people go back home.
Dude, I gotta hear that, dude. So you're in the States. You're in
Yes.
the you moved to the States in 94, you said,
Mhm.
for this
Yes.
job. And then you're gonna be married. So now I'm gonna go back and you're gonna be married in 3 years, AJ. And you're gonna be like you're crazy. But
Yes.
do you have like an arranged marriage? Like just I
Yeah.
want 2 minutes of that.
Yeah. Arranged marriage. Yeah. It's like my mother advertised in the newspaper, and
Well, now that you're in California, you got like top billing now, right? And
yeah.
in the newspaper.
Eh, it comes with the question marks. Like my wife's father, he was like, "I need to see your offer letter, paychecks, verified background." Like I'm not giving my daughter to you without knowing you are real. Okay,
And she has to move to the States too then.
she has to move to the States. She has to be mentally
Wow.
ready for that also. Yeah.
Wow. Did you get any time to court your wife before you get married
No, no, we just met once. That's it. Twice. That's it.
and talked on the phone, I hope, a few times? That's wild.
Phone was damn expensive those days. It
Yeah,
was,
yeah, it
oh
was.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The dollar was, it was like almost $3 to $6 per minute call. So it
Yeah,
was not
yeah, I
cheap.
remember.
Yes, phone was very
So
expensive.
did she graduate from university? She had job
In India, in
prospects
India.
in
Yeah, yeah.
India.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, she's a commerce student. She was a commerce student.
But the plan was she'd move and she should be able to find a job. Well, yeah.
Well,
I mean, we
not
don't have to
really.
talk too much about this, but no, yeah.
Yes.
Because you need visas and you need work visas and that's
Yeah.
wild, dude. I could just that's really interesting. And you're still married today.
Yes.
So
To
it
to
worked
her.
out.
Yeah, it
I
worked
could
out.
tell,
It
dude.
worked.
You got a great personality. You're smiling all the time. So that has to help. Man, how stressful is that though? It's got to be stressful, right? You're living by yourself all these years, and now suddenly a
Very.
stranger.
Oh, stranger. Oh, you know what? I can tell you one incident which is fun. I have a sweet tooth, okay? And I don't eat spicy food, okay? So like I know, like most Indians eat spicy, I don't. And when I got married and my wife like first came home and in the kitchen, she was like, "Wow, the only thing I had in my kitchen cabinet for cooking was salt and a hint of black pepper. That's it." I had
Americanized right away.
no, well, I never had it. Before even coming to US, I never used to eat spicy. So I was like completely like, red chili, why do you eat red chili or green chili or anything?
You
I
know,
was,
I don't like the Indian spice either. When I go to India, I kind of fast a little bit. I don't like the water's too spicy for me in India, AJ. That's what I say. And
water is
my wife who's Colombian loves Indian food, but she only eats it when I go out of town.
Yes, even my kids eat spicy, and but they know daddy doesn't eat spicy, so they always like, oh, no, this stuff, no, no, you don't take it. They know I can't handle it.
That's awesome. So you get this job, 3 years later, you get married, your wife comes, now you're living now you can't work the hours that you were working anymore. Not like
No,
you could, but it wouldn't be fair.
oh, not only that, I tell you something. That is a very big transitional transaction in my life. But within 1 year of my marriage, oh no, what, not 1 year, in 2 years, 1999, my wife tells me, you have been working in this space for like 8, 10 years now, and you are still a senior engineer. That's like a loser. You need to become manager.
Oh wow. Did you want to be a manager?
I did
Because
not. I was
no,
not
you want
even.
to get your hands dirty.
I was just enjoying what I was doing. But now my wife has told me this. So I go to my boss and say, you know what? I have to become manager. Otherwise,
Wow.
I will leave.
Really? So your
Yeah,
wife saying that to you was that important?
yeah, it was important.
Wow.
And it was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't see things from your own
You're stuck
lens.
in the box. Yeah.
Yes,
You're stuck in
right.
the box. You
Somebody
can't
else
see
telling
outside.
you exactly like the way they see it. And that became my motivational, like, okay, I have to do it. My wife has done few things in life here and there, big, which have affected me in big way. So, and this was one of those. And then I moved, and you know what, very amazing what she said
So
and what
so
she did.
so then how much longer are you at the company? That company from the time you say I need to be a manager?
Oh, I went to my boss, and then I got a offer with well, I did not go to my boss directly. I should have, but I did not. And then I went outside and looked for a job as a manager, and Cisco offered me, and it was like, okay, I can be manager there. They offered me, and I had actually accepted also. But then I went to my manager and told her that, hey, I'm leaving because I found a job. I want to be manager. And she said, oh, you should have told me. And I was like, oops. And then she said, stay here. I was sitting in the room, 10 minutes back, she comes back with the offer letter and everything, like,
Wow.
hey, and she said, and then I stayed back
Nice.
because I liked her and everything was nice anyway. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just going for a position and offered. So, and I
Are
stayed
you
there.
still on an H-1B at that point? Or
Yes, I was on
yeah, you
H1B at
are.
that point.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But in with H1B, yeah, H1B journey is tough. It has its own challenges. It comes, they are not visible right away, but you kind of get locked in and
Yeah, I
changing.
get
Yep.
nervous on the H-1B stuff because I've had friends who have been on them, and if they don't have companies that are sort of going after them, um, they really become sort of locked in,
Yeah.
and they don't have the ability to negotiate, and they don't have the parity, let's say, on salary and stuff.
Yeah.
So that the H-1B programs always sort of bothered me ethically a little bit. I know it gets people into the country on this, but if
It's,
your
you know,
employers are treating you like you're an H-1B and I don't have to take care of you, it bothers me.
yeah, but
Did,
look at my boss. She was very nice, right?
yeah?
And yeah, I can tell you her name, Jane Lee. She was very nice, super nice. And that is throughout, like my journey. One thing I can tell you, I've been lucky. I had many bosses, many bosses. I changed a lot of jobs here and there. I'm still in touch and good bosses. I've been like, I think I have learned so much, and that is one of my biggest thing I have collected in my life. Like even my boss in Google, Kamran, so good, so good.
Yeah, you've
Lucky.
learned how not to burn bridges, which is so important.
Yes, and very nice people. and they give advice and they tell you things. They teach you that how you can take care or what you should do, not do, and they teach you in so many ways. Like, with Kamran, I used to go for walks and talk around Google, and he would just say things. And suddenly,
What
like, I
what
am
year
like,
did you start? What year did you start at Google? How did you? Because
and
that's not an easy job to get.
yeah, 2015.
Wow. All
Uh,
right. Because we're still just in the year 2000 right now
yes,
with this
yes, yes.
company here. How much longer are you at this company when they finally make you a manager?
Which they made me manager. She made me manager immediately, and like she gave me an offer letter right there with a better salary, manager position, everything, and job changed right away. I was
I
happy. I
can't
was
wait now. You get to go home and say, "Hey,
yes.
wife, look, I
I
did it." She must have been
yes.
really happy. She's like,
Look at
"I'm gonna make you the best non-spicy dinner that I can tonight." That's what you get, AJ.
it is nice. It's a good. It was good days, and
So how much longer are you at this company? How much longer are you there?
then I left in 2001 to 2000.
Us. Okay, so you're
2000,
there
yeah,
for like another three,
2 years, 2.5 years,
three,
yeah.
yeah, 3 years. So then
Then
what
I left.
happens?
Then I joined another company. I changed jobs. I changed jobs. You
No,
know what?
but
I say this like Silicon Valley is like Silicon Valley is the company. All these businesses are just departments there.
I like to hear. I always love to hear how the next job sort of showed up, and then sort of why you took it, right? Because there's opportunities everywhere, and
Mhm.
sometimes you say no, it's not the right time. Sometimes it is. But even more interesting is the how the opportunity sort of
Comes
presents
up.
itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always is something like when I went from this particular one, they said this company came. I was working. They were saying, "Hey, you are working in wired networking, wired for so long," and they said, "Here is an opportunity." This company was Symbol Technologies. Symbol got became bought by Extreme Networks, by Motorola, and so many other companies. But Symbol was the first Wi-Fi company. Okay, they were like, oh, it has an
Mm.
old company doing wireless technologies for retail and big company. And the recruiter called me and recruiter said these companies are doing wireless and you have been working in wired space for so long, so why don't you learn wireless? And
Just
that was very
did
nice.
you know
Yeah.
this recruiter, or was it just an
No,
email that
no, just a recruiter, like a headhunter. What do you call them, right?
interesting? Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He was,
So you
but
said, so they persuaded you and you applied.
yeah, they said persuade. Yeah, they persuaded me that you apply, that we have a job. This is those days when the economy was hot, also, right? And so they persuaded me, and I said, okay, sounds good. I joined. Then I
So what did
joined
you
them.
do there? Were you a manager still, or you went back to
I'm,
being like
I'm
an
a director.
individual
No, I'm
contributor?
a director. I'm a director, right?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm doing
you
good.
went, but that's interesting. You took a director job for a tech that you didn't necessarily
No,
have intimate knowledge about. So
I
how did
didn't.
that work out?
Oh, very good. Amazing. Super amazing. I did well there. My manager was Sujay and Anthony Bartolo. They did very good. They're still doing very good. I'm in touch with them. And I did the Wi-Fi deployments, built the first Wi-Fi release that got deployed in Walmart. Walmart was
Nice.
about 700 stores those days, and it went to 3,000 in front of me, and we were deploying Wi-Fi and building the software and everything. Amazing.
That's for all their POS and back office systems,
Yes, and on the
and
retail
then
and in the retail, yeah, POS, yes,
and the
yeah,
retails, and then it
yep.
could report back home everything that was going on in the store, I guess.
Everything and people,
Yeah,
the every price scanner and everything which people use, the barcode scanner, everything used Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi was like building up. I have gone through the Wi-Fi like it was 802.11. I have seen the every generation of Wi-Fi. Like because I was part of everything getting developed.
that's wild.
11B, 11A, 11G, 11N, AC1, AC2 waves, Wi-Fi 5, 6, 7, everything.
But I'm guessing, even though you're at a director level, you were able to get enough technical understanding and knowledge
Yes.
while you were there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I was.
cool.
Because for me it is very important. And you know what was doing, even though I was director level, I was building how I was testing how I will build and test. I was like, I'm the first customer. I used to tell my team, I'm your first customer. Okay.
Mm,
And because so it has to be good for me, and I have to understand before we are delivering to people outside us. And yeah, I've been always
that was a
hands-on.
great idea. So you almost had your own little lab where if AJ can't do it, nobody can do it. So let's get this. That's really cool.
Yes, it
So
was
how
good.
long are you at that company?
I stayed in, it became, it company, so I stayed in the company, but the company changed. The symbol got bought by Motorola in 2006. Then until 2007, and I stayed there. Then 2008, I started my own company. That was my first startup. And I had got my 2007, I also got my green card. So now I was free to do
Nice.
whatever I
Yeah,
want to do.
now it's easier.
Yes, so now I want to, and the first thing is I want to do my own startup. And I did my first startup, and we sold it to
Oh, wait,
Monster.
wait, wait. You're moving too fast. You're moving too fast for me. So you're at this company, it eventually gets bought by Motorola. So you
Yes,
become a Motorola employee. You're still working, I'm guessing, out of California,
yes.
right? This whole time. It's always been like San Jose or San
Somewhere
Francisco
here or
or
there, like I
even
was in
there. Okay.
Fremont, or yeah, somewhere here or there. Yeah.
So now you're an employee of Motorola. They're way too big for you, right? They're too big. You're bored there now. So you decide that you want to go on your own and do your own entrepreneurial thing.
Yes.
But what was the idea for the product?
So in Motorola, I was doing a lot of work in real-time location. Okay, I was working in a lot of things which were all about how to find things in indoors or outdoors. Like GPS, how do you know location? You have to like all assets. Where is the doctor? Where is the nurse? Where is the IV pump? Where is this machine? Where is the device? Finding everything, forklift, location, indoor location is very important also in the business. Okay, in warehouse, right? How in Amazon they move the things, everything. Location is so important. So I really was doing a lot of work in location, and I wanted to start a company making some location tags, like Apple tag, something like that
Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
internal. Yeah, and I wanted to do that, and I was like,
Would these
okay,
be consumer level or this was industry level
business for businesses, for business.
businesses? Okay.
Yes.
But Motorola is already sort of in this business. So you're thinking you're going to compete against them or like what's your niche?
Yes, I will, because Motorola was doing something. Motorola was not making a solution generic enough for, it was so tied to what they are building, like for their own devices. And I wanted to build something which can be used by anybody, a generic product that can help them find things, assets, people, indoors.
Okay. That's cool. But now you need hardware people.
Yes,
I know you could write all the drivers, but I
yes,
mean,
I need
this is a
hardware people.
hardware
You,
people.
you are so right. You are so right. And so at that point, I'm just trying to see.
What year is this now? This is 2002-ish,
2008. We are in 2008.
2008. Oh,
Mhm.
great. Right before the banks are going to crash. Let's go.
Yes, actually, you know what? The I know the my I was going to meet the VC in a plane, and in the flight, I heard everything crashed, and it was like, wow, let's see how the meeting will go.
Not the best time to try to raise some money.
Yes, but it went luckily well. Everything went well. And but it was like, wow, I remember that flight. And even my wife called me, "Oh, did you hear? Like this is like really because I have left my job and I'm here on my own to start my own company, and boom, the world
Yeah.
is crashing."
Yeah. Markets crashing. Anybody that had money tied in,
Yes,
anybody that had debt that was tied to the stock market immediately had funds frozen
yes, yes,
overnight.
yes, yes.
Everything was
It was
frozen.
really bad. It was really bad. But we built the cards. I met the VC. I got the people. He also got me some people also to work on this, like money enough to get the right people. He knew some hardware people, and they worked with me, and we built the product. It went very well. It went very
Where
well.
did you do the manufacturing for the hardware? Was it done in the States or did you go
Done in
overseas
the
for that?
States, 100% in
Oh,
States. Actually, in
interesting.
Fremont, California. Yep.
Nice. So
Yes.
what ends up happening with this company and this product that you built?
Yeah. We sell the company in about 2 years. So 2010 we sell it, and then we are like free again, kind
Yeah.
of to think and do differently, and then my, my journey starts again, and in the direction of like what to do, and that's where I joined Cisco. Then it is so amazing. I am so this is the story, okay? So my boss in Symbol, he had left Symbol and had joined Cisco. And
Okay.
2010, he comes to me, he says, Ajay, uh, and he says it, he doesn't say it completely. He says in 2010, June, July, he comes and says, Ajay, I have a friend who is in Cisco and he wants to add somebody. What's your status? Do you think you will be able to join him? Because I think he would love to have you and everything. I said, yeah, sure. And I said, I'm almost becoming free, so I should be able to join. Totally fine. And then I'm becoming
How
free.
did
And
you Okay, time out. You just had a successful sort of business. You sold it in 2 years. Let's assume you got a couple bucks in your pocket now.
yes,
Like the thought of going to work for a big company like this, that was
yeah.
w-
I,
that was attractive to you?
yeah, I don't have this thing like if you're small or big, it doesn't matter company wise. It has actually what has mattered is what technology I will be working on, that has been my driver. What I will be working on and how much freedom I will have to do what I want to do.
So you're going to
So
go into this job as an engineer or are you going back into management?
I don't know anything, but just because it was my boss and I have liked him, and so he comes and says that he has a friend who would can really, so I say yes. I do not
Okay.
even think too much. It like more on a personal relationship. Okay, I can help. I can
I'm just
join.
afraid. I'm afraid that you're going to go back home and tell your wife you're not a manager anymore and then you're going to get in trouble. I'm just
No,
afraid, man.
no. I won't that let happen. And no, I did join Cisco as senior director, so it
Okay.
was fine. Yeah. It was
Okay.
good.
Good.
It was
Good.
good.
Because I got
You
nervous
know,
for a second.
I think you can leave people if the people want you, they try to put you in the right spot.
Yeah.
So
So that's
they
kind of cool. So what
yeah.
problems are you solving now over there?
Oh, Cisco was just wireless, same wireless. Cisco wireless
Okay.
group. I was part of the wireless group, and
Okay. Now you're
so
competing. Oh, but it's wireless. It's not like what you were doing with
no,
tech.
I'm
So,
competing. No,
oh,
simple, symbol,
yeah.
Motorola, Wi-Fi, competing with them. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Wow, man. Look at you.
Yes, it's
Wow.
like joining your competitor almost. Not almost,
So
full on.
what happens when you're a guy like you walk into a competitor now, right? And you're looking at their tech, and two things are either going to happen, right? You're going to look at their tech and you're going to say, "Oh my God, you guys are in trouble because your competition has got their tech is better," or you're going to be like, "Holy shit, we were in trouble because their tech is better," right? Like that has to happen at some level because you're looking at what they've built and how they've built it.
Yeah, it's natural, right? Because you have so much knowledge you have acquired over the time, so you know how everything works. You know the advantages, disadvantages, and everything. So I think it's just a natural phenomena. I think, and that's what it is. You understand, take a stock of the current situation, and then try to build new roadmaps, like how you will win, right? And you try to do. Technology is evolving. It has been always evolving at a pretty rapid speed. So you are always thinking ahead. So you are always thinking like what I want to be like few years from now or more than few years from now. So it kind of works out. So even if you know that I am weak or I'm strong, but you always knew that in some way. Like when I was in Motorola, I always knew where we are bad or winning against Cisco. So you always have the knowledge. But now you come inside, then you try to see, okay, what are our strengths? Where are our weaknesses? and then you try to jump on them again and again.
Do you ever, in these companies, like working on this stuff, do you ever buy the competitor's box and sort of peek inside? I wouldn't say reverse engineer, but do you ever buy, like, I've never been in the hardware industry like this where I was competing against Cisco and I said, screw it, let's buy the Cisco box and look at what's going on inside of it. Maybe we can get some ideas.
It's hard. It's hard to do that because companies don't allow that. So you cannot just go and buy their product. Okay, so you cannot just go and order it. It will be very hard to purchase a competitor product right away. But how you read their specs very carefully. Every document you read, whatever comes out from them, you have to read it very, very well. You have to,
Mm.
but then you have a team in the company, some marketing team or some marketing, technical marketing analysis team, which is buying the competition product and trying to, but generally it's not available or accessible to engineering directly. So you
Because I
cannot.
always hear stories that like China has engineers that can do this, right? So they'll put out a cheaper
I think
product.
the story there is more than, I think this is what happens. I think this is for China specifically or Taiwan and all because they are the one who are manufacturing everything. So like US designs and then sends it like ships the stuff to Taiwan, you make it. China, you make it. And I do not know how strict the IP control is. They say that they have it, but you don't know how strict it is, right? And I think this is how the things get stolen here and there, right? Because generally you would not be like, I think, I tell you one thing which I really like and I really, really like about America, okay? Well, not one thing, many things, but one thing is like the level of ethics and trust is very high, very high. It's so high. I think it's like the rest of the world cannot even understand it.
Hmm.
Okay, like they and the people here cannot understand how good we are until you see because it's very hard to see that. Okay, like when I came from India, I made a photocopy, like like a photocopy of a paper and somebody said I need this and I created a copy to give and they said yeah this is good enough and I was like wow because they did not like in India they had if you have a paper like this photocopy it has to be signed and stamped by some notary that it is a true copy
Mm.
and here the photocopy itself is trust you said it that's good enough okay or you talk to somebody in the business and they say yeah it's a 30-day return and or some for whatever they say the word is it is there is
Interesting.
no that part in America people don't realize but it is like
We don't appreciate that as much as we
you
should.
yes I think so
Yeah.
and I think people should be proud of and I think we should always maintain it and I think this is the basic thing I say it's not the just the infrastructure is good quality or electricity water or some other things the moral value the such a high moral value here you don't see it here like you can leave everything open and like once my sister-in-law left her gold chain and in a like a Macy's changing room and then she goes there like 4 hours later and it's lying there it's lying there that is
I'll
a
tell you this. I will not work with companies that are based out of Miami anymore because it's
wow
quite the opposite. Yeah. In fact, I have to charge like a 30% pain and suffering fee if you're based out of Miami, man. They don't pay their bills. They don't do it. I don't find that anywhere else on the planet. If I work with companies anywhere outside of Miami, whether it's US, Canada, Europe, I have no issues. Everybody honors their agreements. But in
wow
Miami, it's happened to me 3 times.
wow
3 times.
interesting you
So
should you should hear I tell you the trust and the word the honor I can like you can close your eyes and you can trust the Silicon Valley.
so how long are you with Cisco? Is that the
Oh,
transition now
not
from
too long, not too long.
no?
Hey, so you say I do change jobs, okay? So I change the
But you're
job.
not changing jobs for money, right? Because I think in today's climate, that's an okay thing to do. I don't get hung up anymore if I see somebody changing jobs every year or two, if
Yeah.
they're improving themselves, right? Because how else are you going to do it? But you're not changing for money. You just keep finding more interesting things to work on.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a tech. Tech is my that fascinates me. It still fascinates me. And you know what? Believe it or not, I was thinking about it. Like my mom, she's 80-year-old, right? And she learned something new, how to do something, manage in the Netflix box and something, and she was enjoying it. And I was like, this is how I will be, even when I'm old, learning new things. And I think this is where I get it from every day. Like learning new is that is the only thing, and we live on that. We want to learn new, and we thrive on it, and keep learning, and that is the driver of life. And
So, so tell me how we go from Cisco right now to Google in
Cisco,
the
after
next.
Cisco, I joined a company called Meru Networks,
Okay.
and then after Meru, I joined Google.
Okay. And what was the idea of joining Google? What were you going to work
Um,
on over there?
So, I was in Meru, and then Meru, we sold Meru Networks to Fortinet, and then I took a break for a few months after Meru. Like, okay, you know what? I will just think what I want to do. Then a Google recruiter called me, and
I know how to get AJ. If you want AJ, just send him an email. Pretend you're a recruiter.
yes, it works. It always works. Yes, it is. It has always worked. And the recruiter called me. I talked to him, and then they asked me to come for interview. I went. I did the interview, right, and they made an offer. Then I joined.
Yeah,
As
but that
simple as
takes
that.
months, dude.
It
How long
it
did it take
actually
you?
did not take months. No, you know what? So there is a lot of what is the word? Misperception or
Misinformation? Because I have a handful of friends that work there and it took them months to get through the interview.
yes, so it depends. It all depends. I think that's the difference is because I was on the older side probably, so it moves differently, right? Because it's like I'm not a college grad, right? So I'm not among the 2 million resumes. So I am in a different level position and different thing. I don't know exactly, but
They must have really wanted you. Because I've seen some people get fast tracked where it took like 6 weeks.
yeah. It was like that. It was very fast.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
surprisingly
you were
fast.
fast tracked.
Yeah, it was super fast. And like it was like I interviewed, and next week they interviewed, and they arranged the interview, and there were like 4 or 5 people interviewed like in 2 days, and then I had an offer on the plate.
To work on
So,
what? It's a lot. There was a
uh,
lot of stuff going on in
yeah, I
15.
joined as a head of network for corporate network. There they had 9 data centers, so I was head of engineering and architecture for those.
Whoa, that's a real
Yeah.
job, man. That's not a joke, man. Now
Yes.
your wife. What did your wife say when you said I got this?
Yeah, they were all happy. My kids were happy, although my kids still say, "Why did you leave Google?"
I know it's kind of a cool thing to say, right? I work at Google. It,
Yes.
it, I mean, you already like have the inside track, and you know it's the novelty of that wears off internally. But still, I mean, it's impressive to say that I got hired by Google. Not
Yeah.
everybody can.
Yeah. It is. It
That's
is good.
fair.
It is. Yeah. It is. I think if I'm in Google, that's also good. It is good. It's a high tech, new tech company, right? And it's amazing company. Nothing wrong about it. But it's like so you keep doing it, and then I left it for doing more AI. That's what happened.
Yeah, because you were doing like a management slash infrastructure
Yep.
job, right? Like I can already tell. Like at some point, you need to keep your hands dirty. So even when you had your own lab to test things, you got your hands
Hands
dirty.
on
You were
more.
not getting your hands dirty there.
Yes, and that's where then I started my company and
So what
living
year do
yeah,
you leave Google, and how does? So you left Google what year?
18, 2018 I started.
So you're there for 3 years.
2017 I left, and 2018 I started this.
Okay. I mean, you didn't need the money. You did well already on a couple things, so
Yes,
you could leave, take a break.
and
So I want to know in 2018, AI is look, universities are teaching it, machine learning is there, but it's very academic at this point. It's not really practical tech in 2018. as we know, it needs another 6 years. But what did you see in 2018 that made you think that you needed to jump on this wagon?
I was doing a lot of AI related stuff in Google. We were not even calling it AI, or we were doing it. And I got like, you know what, this ability to predict, forecast, use the things in business, this should be something, should be democratized. Everybody should have access to it. Every company should have access to it. This is something can be created, a product which all companies use it, and then they become powerful. Okay, and they can do better because of it. That was my thought process, that this is
I know,
something
but
so
I want to know
valuable.
what I want to know what you saw, because I had not even heard of large language models until maybe, I don't know. I want to say 24, maybe 23, but I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
what did you see in 18?
So it was not large language model. It was all prediction models, forecast. So I tell you, right? It's like this. I give you an example. You know, your car, right? Car has the light, like check light, right? When it turns on, then oh my God, I have to go and get serviced, right? And at that point, like for me, oh my God, I have no idea. Can I drive? How much can I drive? How long can I drive? Right? I have no idea. Right? So I have to go. Right? And when we were in Google, we were like working on data centers, and we were like, oh, you cannot build a data center in a day. If the data center needs more capacity, you need more capacity. And network traffic was growing in the world. So we had AI models to predict like how much data center band capacity we will need in 6 months from now. And so that we need to know that, so that we need to order the hardware, we need to put the cables, need to dig, everything has to happen so that you can actually, the world can
All right.
continue to
Let
run.
me ask you a question, because this is where I get confused.
Yes.
Why was that not just considered an algorithm that could look at some data and give you an answer? Why is that AI as opposed to just an
Very good
algorithm?
question. Very good question. Can I give you a different example and then explain?
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Give me a different example.
All right, so chess. Okay, we play chess. Do you play chess?
Not very good,
That's okay.
embarrassingly bad.
That's okay. But you know how to play chess, right?
Yeah, I taught
And
my son how to beat me very well. Yes,
oh,
that's
very
what I
nice,
did.
amazing. So now you have chess, right? So you have two ways to play chess actually. And let me explain this. So one is you are like, you know what, I will do this move, and then you think what are the other potential moves from the other player. Then you think what can you do in response, and you try to come up with a tree of moves in your mind, and based on that you say, okay, this moves looks best. That is how we play chess, right? And then IBM made the first AI, but it was, they called it AI, but it was the most algorithm. The idea was how far can I try in my computer, like how many moves can I play fast enough, and then figure out what's the best possible move, and then do that move. And people used to use that terms. I can think 10 moves, 10 levels forward. I can think 10, 12, 5. It takes time, but that was the computer computing algorithms doing it. Decision tree is running it. Okay, that is works. Okay, that is one way of doing AI. Then there is one way of, or you can call it algorithm. Whole AI is nothing but algorithm. Okay, but this is one way of doing it, which is very well defined. We understand very well. Then came up with a new way. Okay, and the new way is that you do not look at, now when you have chess. Okay, so you have this chess game. Just imagine if you had like chessboard, right? It has like uh, you have 32 pieces in 64 squares, and that's some white, some black. That's all you have. Now just imagine if you had millions of games, images of millions of games, and like this was the game, this is the board, and the next image is this, and this game won, and you had that formula everywhere. Then what you do is, in AI world, what you do, instead of knowing the rules, you just establish mathematical patterns. Like this, the graph should be, image should look like this. If this is the image and this is the label image, this, the next image should be this. So you don't even have to know the chess. Am I making sense?
Yeah. I mean, I've been playing with a lot of AI and similarity search and inference and stuff like that, right? So,
Very good.
right,
Yes.
right. You're not writing an algorithm that tests n number of moves out. What you're trying to do is say, what's the best board that I know about that transitions from this?
Which
I did a
success?
Connect Four that does
Yes.
this actually.
Connect 4. Same thing. So you
I
can
did it
pick
with
this.
Connect Four.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you can do with any game, right? Like basically you are just saying what is the next possible image which leads to success. I just need to know of all the images. So you don't even know how to play chess, but you can do it. You know what? This opens up the possibilities because when you do with rules, like, for data center, if I want to do with rules, the problem is if you do with rules, how many rules can you apply? And if you make a mistake, how many formulas can you apply? So it's better to come up with something which does not depend upon rules as humans algorithm. It is only based on pattern. But so no more. That's the difference. So it is an algorithm. Mathematically, we are still doing mathematics, but how we are computing, we are not thinking a decision tree, we are thinking a pattern. So you know what? It's like this. When I touch something hot, my hand moves up. Instant reaction without even having a formula that comes to my brain and brain takes a decision. That's the difference. And that's why it's AI and not an algorithm. Everything in AI can be done with an algorithm potentially, but it will be slow and it may not be complete and it may take time and you may end up in situation where algorithm doesn't have an answer. In AI, what you are doing is you are going with pattern. So you know what? It will pick one pattern, hopefully with high confidence that pattern will make you win. That's the
If you
difference.
have enough, data, like, so if you go to ardenlabs.ai, you can see my Connect Four game. And I wrote it so the more people that play it, the more boards I create. And I
You
inverse
will become
boards,
better. Amazing.
right? Except when my testers were playing with it and they wanted to test failure modes, I had to delete a bunch of data because they were making it stupid. Like I literally had to delete a whole bunch of boards because they were making purposely for testing bad moves. And I'm like, you just made it dumber. Right. Um, but it's only as good as I got maybe 10,000 boards in there now, I think. But
Yes.
there's an infinite number of boards, right? But it's only as good as the number of games it's played, right?
Yes,
So
yes, it is. That's what it is. You are basically focusing on a completely different thing. Like the computer, so the algorithm is decided by the computer, and the algorithm is stored very differently. There is a whole formula around weights and parameters and stuff like that, which nobody needs to know also. But the thing is, it's a different way of doing the algorithm on parameters.
but we didn't have these models at that level yet in 2018, I
2000.
didn't think.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Oh, we did.
2000,
Okay.
2014 was the one of the biggest success of CNN. There is a show in Germany where they do like computer detecting the traffic lights versus the humans detecting it. And humans have been always better. And then in 2014, Google demonstrated the CNN models and they did better.
Mm,
That was first time people realized, oh, self-driving is possible. Computer can detect better than human in time. That's the
gotcha.
key. And this
But
is the,
the
yeah, that was a game changer.
but the platform you have today on Studio X is really taking advantage of the advances in LLMs and
Both, yes,
right.
generative and
Yeah.
classic. I go in both directions. We use it like, you know what, you can talk to it. So you can say, hey, you can say in English, how are my sales today? And it will find the information based on your data. Or you can say, how will be my sales tomorrow? And then it predicts for you and say that is how the sales will be tomorrow. That's the whole idea.
So the new thing that's now popping up on all my feeds with AI is this new MCP, this model context protocol thing. This is the new acronym now. Now that I said it, everybody will see it.
Yes.
MCP, model context protocol. This is supposed to allow all these models to talk to everything under a certain protocol or API. Have you seen this stuff yet? This,
No, I have not.
I think there's a competing standard that's trying to be out there. So I was kind of
So
curious
I
if you
tell
were
you, the
using
concept is
any of
this. I tell you, the thing is this. See, when we work with LLMs, different LLMs, what happens is each LLM works differently. The how do you give the context? So this is the whole concept is like kind of making an adaptive layer. I think so, but I don't know. It is kind of a layer so that I can have a unified way of talking to different LLMs and get similar response.
I'm also thinking what they were trying to do there is create a standard API for talking to any data source, whether it's a database, an email server, SharePoint. Because even on a platform like yours, AJ, you'd have to build custom integrations
Yeah.
to all of these systems out there to be able to pull the data out in a way that you could
Yeah.
leverage it.
Yeah, we have it. We have something in Studio X in which you can add your own data source so that it can be unified. Yeah, we are doing it. I think everybody is doing it in some form. You have to, because if you want to add a new data source, how will you make it easy for people? Otherwise, it will be too much work, and I don't want to be involved in that process. So we have a process in which they can add their own data source, upload something, and boom, now their knowledge is working.
Yeah, that's also the scary part to me. At the moment that everything is, I don't know what the word they're going to use, but AI accessible, the moment everything on the planet's AI accessible, right? Then it also gets super interesting. But I feel like all these AI companies are also moving so fast that they're almost um, hurting each other in a sense, right? Because if we create a standard protocol to make it super easy to access any data source, then where's the niche in a platform like Studio X versus all the competitors that you have? Because every week another company comes out offering
Making
agents and
yeah,
integrations. And
yes,
so,
very
like,
very
what
good.
keeps you up at night, AJ? How do you stay ahead of everybody else on your platform?
I think right now I have so much work to do. And you know what? Right, I think right now the AI is more like the water bottle business. You know what? There were so many companies selling water, and then still there was the sunny, it came and people could still buy it. Okay. So there is so much need and demand right now. Right now, it's needed. But what is keeping me? That's a very good question. What you're asking, what is keeping me up at night is making the AI agents smarter and smarter. So you know what? They have to become smarter on the knowledge, and they all have to become, because we do all real time stuff. Okay, so AI is all that knowledge is real time, but how to use your knowledge recursively within the bot? Those are the challenges. Like you know what? Think like this. First, you find out like how to do this, and then you use how to do this to do something. You see what I'm saying? So you keep, like, you don't know, I don't know how to do anything. It's like this. I do not know how some specific formulas for solar energy work. But then if I have to do something, hey, can you compute this using the solar energy formulas? Now I do not even know how those formulas work. So first I have to learn them from my knowledge, and then I have to get the answer for you. So multi-step. And I think this is where the AI and the AI agents, I think that will be the more and more people will compete, because how to use your knowledge better and better so that you can actually going inside your recursively inside your knowledge to give the answer. That is the number one challenge now.
Now, I'm I've said this before. I want to get your opinion.
Yes, yes,
Fang has basically owned every industry at some point.
yes.
They're just too big. They take over everything, and then
Yeah,
it leaves nothing for the small guys.
agreed.
I don't know if this is going to happen with AI for one reason. And it's a second question to you. So, one, what are your thoughts on Fang shutting you and everybody else like you down? But I think what's going to keep you alive, in fact, I think what's going to keep you away from getting swallowed by Fang are the privacy concerns. How are you giving me a guarantee that my data isn't being mixed with my competition if we're both using
Exactly.
your platform?
Yeah, that's the key. I run everything. Studio X run everything on premise. Okay, it can run everything on your premise private cloud. Nothing goes out, no data document. And I think that's the main difference. And I think what you are saying is the number one thing. There is something to be about the enterprise business. There is something about the privacy of the data. But you know what? There are people who still post everything on Facebook, their children birthday and everything. They are posting all their knowledge out, right? And but there are a lot of people who don't, and people are learning that they should not. Fang is in the business of that public data, right? And but businesses who do not want their data to be public, they will always look for platforms like Studio X. But I think there are a lot of government protocols also. We have a lot of customers who cannot store the things in cloud, who cannot store anything out. The data has to remain within the customer boundaries. And I think that is one will be the reason this part of business will always be there. It will always coexist, which is not cloud.
See, like I have no problem using GCP. I have no problem. I use it. We use Cloud Run for all of our services and any data we're collecting in those apps. But if I want AI to do anything with my financials, if I want AI to do anything with the
Yes,
proprietary data, I ain't putting that stuff up
yeah,
in GCP.
yeah.
Hell no, dude. There is a line that everybody has
Yes,
that
and you
says,
should
okay,
not.
if this leaks, whatever. But if
Yes,
this leaks, hell no, right?
yeah,
And I feel like that might be the gatekeeper
yeah. And I
in
tell you this about not GCP, cloud tools. There are so many cloud tools, okay? So many companies, small cloud tools, as you said earlier also. So many tools out there. You share your data with them. But tell me this, that company may be good. That company has all the good intentions. But what are you going to do about that another $500 billion hacker industry where there are hackers everywhere and who are hacking every website trying to find the information? So your data may be insecure not because of the bad intentions of the cloud company where you're storing your data. It may be somebody else was more capable in hacking them, and your data will get leaked for the wrong reasons by the wrong guy. So, using just cloud tools is can be unsafe in so many ways. Like people are using these days, everybody, meeting notes, I imply this company, this dot AI. You can keep doing it, but at the end, it's not those companies that may hurt you, it's the hacker. That company will hurt you. And that is the reason. Google may still protect their data, although Google has it. If you check the history, Google itself has data leaks, like 30 million data point leaked or something like this, users' data leaked, and those things keep happening. So, attacker industry is so big. You
yeah,
have to figure out.
it's going to be interesting to me to see if your company is survives in the next 5 years. Not
Let's see,
because the product isn't good. It's because
because of,
does Fang find a way to convince
hey,
me that I can trust them?
hey, but you know what? Survival is like if they buy me also, that's survival.
That's no. That's fair, but there's there's like 1,000 of you right now, so
Yes,
you got to be right. You got to be in the top three for that.
yes,
It's super interesting when I see
yes,
like a platform like yours
yes.
because you have to be right. And who knows? Maybe they end up not being able to swallow anybody up because of the
Yep,
privacy data privacy stuff.
yep. That's the thing. I think privacy will protect because what it is Google has not been successful so far, all these companies, in creating the edge boxes which stay in the customer premise and do not talk to the world.
See, I think what's going to happen is if like the Googles, what I think they're going to end up trying to do for developers is you're the only API you're ever going to have is a chat API. That's it. And somehow, if you trust them with your secrets for this account and that account and this account and that account, it's one API call to the LLM that says, hey, go fetch my mail and tell me if there's anything that's important today. Hey, go right. So there's no more API integration anymore.
Yep.
Like Fang's done it already. And what they expose is an LLM chat, an OpenAI compatible chat endpoint. And it does it all, right?
Yep. I,
I
I,
don't know
I,
if we get there, but
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Let's see. Let's see how the thing, because the evolution in this space is pretty high and rapid, right? And the focus, right? Focus on the enterprise or the private business. That's where our focus is, enabling them and or enabling in the product, the edge, right? So our like making products which go inside the computers, system, switches, routers, products of the customers. So we are in a little bit of different space, which is not a space they are directly targeting, at least.
Well, I said this to my last guest too. Like, right, the ultimate goal is the LLM running on this watch without an internet connection, right?
Hey,
Because once you get there, it gets really scary, right?
you know what? This is like we have this whole thing, right? Like we have a product which we call like voice add-on. This is like for the machines. You have big machines, welding positioners, and test machines. And now just you have this, we are giving them this add-on. They put it, and now you can talk to the machine. And this way you can actually work it and without the internet, of course. Because like, there's so much in industry which cannot handle the internet or depend upon the internet.
I
And
have a
the
client
cyber
named,
security and the cyber
I,
security.
yeah, no, you're right. We take internet for granted here in the US for sure. I'd say even in Europe, but that's not necessarily the same in South America or even in India where you're from, right?
Yep,
There's
yep.
you gotta deal with that. I have a client named Prediction Guard where we help them with their platform. They're literally a platform to deploy models and API servers and stuff. What I'm seeing as one of the biggest problems for these platforms is wanting to work with the latest model. So I
Yes.
want to work with Llama 3.3. You only got Llama 3.1, right? And next
Yes,
week, the next one's going to come out, and you
yes.
can't give me the model I want fast enough. There's no,
No
it's
way.
a real problem.
Yes, yes, yes. Understand. Totally understand. Let's see where the world is going. Okay. I think the revolution in this space has just started. Okay. I really think so. I think the revolution in the LLM space has just started, and we are like at the bottom of the revolution. I think the world is moving towards open source. World is moving towards figuring it out how to do it ethically, right? By like not stealing anybody's images or text or information, how to contribute to the people, the original creators of the information, right? World is still figuring it out, that stuff, right? And however, there are some areas which is actually very well defined on the LLM side, the programming languages, the coding, which does not require the world data, which can be done based on the syntax and the capabilities of the language, how languages. So I think the world is just started in this space. I think let us just watch it. I think our discussion, if we schedule a discussion in 1 year from now, I'm telling you, it will be amazing. It will be very different. It will be completely
It
different.
will be. It will be interesting to see if Fang took a foothold or didn't take a foothold. Will also be interesting to see where your product is in a year in terms of what
I
customers want.
Yes, I tell you what, it would be very interesting. I am, but I am seeing like this. I think the biggest value that is also happening, and I think this is where I see the AI, the merger of generative and classic. Because right now, a lot of times people are thinking when AI, they are thinking AI is nothing but the generative part. But I see the classic part actually going hand in hand because you want to do that pattern analysis, you want to see the progression, you want to see the change in patterns, you want to see the anomalies, forecast, all those things. They are not the part of AI everybody is thinking. Suddenly people are like there is a whole community which is just focused on the text part, but that data part is not going away. Because if there is a sensor, it's not just going to be the generative AI that can solve, because the generative AI is designed to hallucinate. It's the basic definition of generative is creativity. Creativity is nothing but hallucination, right? And you want that because that's how you go out of the box. If you don't go out of the box, you cannot. But then you also, the deep learning and the other technologies, they are also kind of hallucinating at a very small different level, but within the box based on the past patterns. So they are hallucinating only limited. Generative is hallucinating beyond. And but what your need is, you need both. You need a combination of both so you can make a good decision. But you can still, so I think language, you use the AI. For the text, you use the LLM, generative AI. But then when it comes to numbers, you still have to go to classic AI. And I think that is where the difference will come. And like what Google and everybody really became, they are all doing a very good actually. In AWS also does very good, all the auto ML stuff, right? It's the same space. that space will be there. I don't think that space is going away. A lot of platforms out there are mostly focused only on LLM. And I think that will be another thing to see how they evolve.
Yeah, well, the majority of data on this planet isn't in written form, it's in databases, right?
Yes,
So
that's the thing.
the
And that's
LLM
where
only gets you so far. Yeah.
no LLM will get you there. But LLM cannot work on numeric data. You give a lot of numeric data, LLM will get. It's like this. As a human, LLM works the same. If I put like think 100,000 numbers lying one after another, my brain cannot make anything out of it, and that's where the LLM gets confused, and that's where you need a different maths, which
Now,
LLM
one thing
can.
I did that I have a demo out there is using the llama model. I ask it a question, it generates a SQL statement based on a table that I have. Then I execute that query and then I can answer the question. That is super interesting to me because now you could have an LLM sort of help access databases that it understands to
We do
generate the
that.
queries.
We do that. I can show you also. That is one of the oldest application we did, because again, query is a programming language. So you are generating, and this way data is not going out. That's the beauty. Like
Yeah,
like you said, right? Like data, because that is the key thing. The data cannot go out. If my finance data, my personal data, my contract data, anything went out, it's a problem. It's a
it's a big
problem.
problem.
It's a big problem,
Yeah.
right? And but generating queries on the data, very powerful, right?
Yeah,
Generating
very
queries, and
powerful.
that's where you generate the query, then run it local on the database. But then it queries only do only one part. Queries only do the current analytics.
Yeah, data
They,
gathering.
yes,
Right. Yeah.
they do not do prediction.
No.
They do not do anomalies. So you still need a set of algorithms on top of that. That is where the value comes. Like it's like this, yeah, okay? We have a customer, it's a vending machine operator. He has about 250 vending machines or kiosks, okay? He manages. And he needs to know like how do I he maintains an inventory, he has a demand. How does he do good job? Right? And he needs to do it like this. Hey, what products do I need to buy? And
Yeah.
that has to be based on not just on like understanding the question, it has to be based on what sales, what is the pattern of which product sales, and that pattern
Even
is what
down to the
happens.
month, right? Because
Yes,
what you're selling
yes.
in February isn't necessarily what you're selling in
And
October.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's where the value is. I think the value is always generative plus classic, and I think the world will
I love
slowly
that.
move.
I love that generative. Like it's a little LLM and a little classic algorithm. And if you can put
then
those two things together,
then you are complete.
you know,
Then we are
yeah,
complete, and
that's
that's where,
awesome.
because the classic does have some capabilities which human doesn't have. Like I cannot predict based on just if I have 100 parameters to look, I cannot tell you. That's where the classic helps, plus the LLM, and now I have a full on power, and I think that is the future AI agent which can do both.
I love that. And these are the things you're working on with Studio X. And
Yes, yes, Studio X is
yeah,
always
yeah,
about generative and classic. Yes,
I love that.
because I see that but I'm not saying that we will be unique and we are unique. As I said, there are a lot of water bottle companies.
Yeah, but yeah, you got into a very big space. I mean, you've competed against the big boys before, so
Yes.
this isn't your first rodeo. I love
Yes,
that.
yes.
You know,
I think we
uh,
will do fine. I'm not worried about that, but I actually think the innovation space is very high, and let us hopefully we always remain like there are things which we are not working on, and we should be able to use them. Like like when the
yeah,
DeepSeek showed up, not that I agree with everything how DeepSeek does things and whatever they do, but it's an innovation. They did an innovation, so somebody else has to work on it, and like it opens up. Now people have to start thinking in a different direction. Everybody was just like OpenAI or this that Gemini or whatever. Suddenly the game changes. Oh, we can
right.
think
You
different.
you found a field for yourself that is going to be very ever changing and dynamic for at least the
Ever
next 20
changing and
years.
dynamic. I think it will keep us
Yeah.
busy. Yeah, I can tell you, keep us busy. You know what? Like we do, like I tell you, like we have this application, Chat with PDF. Okay, but you will be surprised like the kind of PDF people have, the images, the circuit diagrams, and they are expecting the answers, and suddenly like, oh my god, now we have to think something completely different, because That is not what we designed the chat with PDF for,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like just a circuit board, and it's like asking, hey, which pin is connected to which? Tell me. And we were like, hello. We never designed it for that. We were never looking at circuits and lines and connections or the
But that's
graphs.
the best part of having customers and people using your product. They
Yes,
try to
but
use
it
it
is
for the
they come
things
up.
that you
Yeah,
didn't think about.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They come up with, oh, I tell you, customers are, what's the best way to say? They are the real oxygen of the product. That's
Yeah.
why the product has been evolving. I'm telling you, grateful, because that's how you learn how people want to use it, not what I want to create. It's very easy to create what I want to create, but what they want is sometimes completely amazing, very
Yeah.
amazing.
And then you can, if you feel like your product can benefit, because you got to pick and choose too. Can't give them everything they want. You got to be smart.
You know what? We have done this before. Even when I was in Google, Aruba will come and they will say, we will ask Aruba, give these features. And we are Google. And then they will say, but you know what? We have already deployed Wi-Fi. How many new access points are you going to need this year? That's defines who is our number one customer, not how many you have bought in past.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We only care about the feature.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. This was awesome, AJ. It was so amazing to meet you um, on the show. If for anybody that's listening that wants to reach out because they have a question, and we'll put this in the show notes, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Uh, they can LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to me. I also maintain a 30 minutes link. They can schedule a meeting with me if they want to. 30minutes.com. I can give you the link. Uh, LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to me. I think it's easiest, and I'm always
Uh,
checking.
AJ Malik, for those that are listening until they can't see the show notes. But this was really awesome, dude. I appreciate your time. I wish you only the best with this
Thank you. Thank you so much.
company, and your track record shares that you're gonna have success. So I'm excited to follow this and see where it goes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Very nice. So nice. Good talking to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. This is AJ Malik and Bill Kennedy signing off from the Ardan Labs podcast, and we hope to see everybody again real soon.